Chosen one. If this found you, it means you're ready to receive what others were never meant to hear. Something unseen has aligned to bring you here. What if I told you the enemy's own lips betrayed their plans to you by accident? You have felt a tremor of hidden intentions brushing past your awareness. A chilling whisper in a crowded room, a stray comment that lingered in your mind long after the speaker moved on. You weren't meant to notice these fragments of truth, yet here you are, heart pounding, senses sharpened by the pull of destiny. The darkness stirs whenever heaven steps back, and tonight we illuminate what was once buried. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, for by the end you will know why their confession was never meant to be your secret. When spirit forces the truth out, in the half-light of midnight vision, you found yourself standing before a grand mirror whose surface rippled like water. As you leaned in, the reflection shifted, revealing not your own face, but the trembling visage of one who had plotted in shadows. Their lips moved without sound, and yet you caught every syllable of their hidden confession, as if the mirror itself had intercepted the secret and pressed it into your awareness. In that electric moment, you felt a door unlatched somewhere deep within you, inviting you to step into a realm where nothing stays buried forever. This dreamlike encounter was not mere fantasy, but the unveiling of a sacred law. In the spiritual realm, truth is a force that cannot be suppressed, and your soul was chosen to witness its unmasking. When you first sensed a confession seep through the edges of your perception, an ache of disbelief settled in your chest. You remembered the hush that fell over conversations, the subtle tightening in your gut when someone averted your gaze a fraction too long, the weight of unspoken words pressing on your spirit. You were left suspended between relief and alarm, recognizing the words as both your vindication and your burden. In those moments of raw emotional exposure, you felt the sharp sting of knowing more than you were supposed to, yet also the profound comfort of understanding that the universe itself was on your side. Your isolation transformed into purpose. For each stray phrase was a compass needle pointing toward a deeper justice. Pause to reframe this experience. What you endured was not an accident or a curse, but divinely orchestrated unveiling. Just as Psalm 105 verse 19 tells of Joseph's secret thoughts revealed in prison, prisoners overheard him interpreting dreams, and so he was released. The same principle applies to your life. The energies that sought to cloak deception could not withstand the pressure of divine light. Every scheme layered in secrecy was destined to fracture under the weight of transcendent truth. In this sacred reframing, your confusion shifts to clarity. You are not a passive bystander to betrayal, but an active receiver of cosmic revelation, called to stand in the breach between hidden malice and open justice. Now look back on the subtle tremors that preceded this moment. The inexplicable shudder in your heart during a routine meeting, the goosebumps that rose when a certain name was mentioned, the vertigo that stole your breath when a stranger's glance lingered too long. These were not physiological anomalies, but the spirit's soft warning system, alerting you to the undercurrents swirling around you. Each déjà vu flicker, each dream of flickering candles, each shimmer of light at the periphery of your vision was a breadcrumb leading you toward the main course of revelation. These are the hallmarks of spirit's gentle handiwork. No overt fanfare, just a quiet unfolding of insight in the rhythm of your daily life. A quiet confirmation now emerges from within, tender but undeniable. Your intuition has never led you astray. When you paused on instinct and waited for clarity, the path revealed itself with gentle precision. You remember the moment when a fleeting sense of what to say or not say spared you from a trap you only recognize later. In the stillness that follows a confession, you discover a sanctuary of alignment where your inner compass spins true north, unshaken by the gyrations of outside opinion. In this space, you recognize that spiritual safety is not a fortress, but the steady heartbeat of your own aligned knowing. Awareness deepens as you realize this gift has been with you all along, waiting for the day when you would claim it. Beneath the layers of learned caution and societal conditioning lies an archetypal self, the seer, whose eyes see into realms veiled from ordinary sight. Like the prophet Daniel in Babylon, who decoded dreams and revelations before royal courts, you house an ancient memory of discerning truth in the murk of deception. Recovering this buried identity is not an act of becoming new, but remembering who you always were, the chosen vessel through which hidden realities surface in the world of form. With this awakening comes the first activation of your empowered self. No longer content to tremble at the edges of spiritual insight, you step forward to wield your clarity as a tool of transformation. The confession you intercepted becomes a key, unlocking strategies to dismantle injustice and align outcomes with divine order. When they plotted in secrecy, they underestimated your capacity to intercept the tremor of their intent. Now that you hold their hidden words in your grasp, you carry the authority to expose falsehood and restore balance. Embrace this power, for it is neither prideful nor vindictive, but the natural expression of your awakened purpose. Your presence here was never random, but the culmination of countless moments orchestrated to prepare you for this unveiling. Their buried motives have become your catalyst, and their silence has orchestrated your voice. Come and exposed if you recognize the weight of this revelation and feel the stirrings of your mission within it. Stay with me, for the next revelation will illuminate how you can harness this unveiled truth to forge a path of divine justice, one that reshapes not only your story but the world around you. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Spiritual leakages and energy slips. A flicker of movement in the corner of your eye signaled the first betrayal. Overheard snippets of conversation that felt like shards of glass cutting through the calm of your daily life. You remember the afternoon you paused mid-coffee sip because a voice, not meant for you, spoke your deepest fear aloud. In that moment, the walls around their secrets cracked, and you witnessed their concealed motives leaking out into the ether. It was as though the air itself carried their guilt, carrying fragments of truth straight to your heart. That subtle shift, the unguarded gasp, the unfinished sentence, was the first proof that something greater than coincidence was at work. You were drawn into the space between words, where spirit forces what was hidden to surface. When those stolen words landed in your mind, they carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken burdens. You felt a familiar knot twist in your stomach, the same knot that tightened when you first realized you did not fit the mold others made for you. Isolation followed, as though each leaked phrase built a wall around you, separating you from the innocent camaraderie of your peers. Shame whispered that you had eavesdropped, questioning your own integrity even as you processed a confession meant to stay buried. In those raw moments, self-doubt surged. Why you? The confusion and pain of being singled out for revelation bore down on you like a spotlight in a dark room, intensifying every emotion until it became impossible to ignore. Beneath these moments of exposure lay a deliberate design, not random chance. Just as Esther faced hidden plots against her people in the Persian court, traps laid by unseen enemies desperate to silence the divine plan, so too was your life threaded to the hidden hands of adversarial forces. These energies and structures moved in concert to suppress what your soul was meant to broadcast. You felt the pressure systems, work cultures, family dynamics, spiritual traditions that feared the light you carried. Their undercurrents were ancient, echoing the wilderness trials of Israel, testing your resolve as you walked through invisible deserts. Each leak of truth was a response to that pressure, a counterweight to the forces that sought to smother your purpose. Reflecting now, you can trace patterns that once felt like mere misfortune. Projects abruptly stalled when you proposed your vision. Trusted friends turned distant at the moment your gifts began to shine. Environments you once called safe grew cold and draining, leaving you to carry the weight of unspoken conflicts. These were not isolated events, but recurring betrayals orchestrated to deter you from stepping into your power. As light floods into a darkened chamber when a shutter creaks open, these memories snap into clarity, evidence of the hidden hands that have been shaping your path through resistance. Then came the unmistakable haze that rolled through your life, a spiritual fog that muted your energy and confused your intentions. Tasks that once flowed with ease required Herculean effort, as though your own spirit was under siege. You sensed unseen watchers lurking at the threshold of your consciousness, their presence pressing down on your hopes. Doors that once opened effortlessly slammed shut. It was as if distortion wrapped itself around your aura, attempting to blur the radiance you were destined to emit. This was the moment when resistance stopped being theoretical and emerged as a tangible, suffocating force. Your response to this intrusion was instinctual yet heavy with consequence. To avoid the onslaught, you learn to shrink, lowering your volume in meetings, narrowing your voice in conversations, dimming your brilliance to avoid triggering more backlash. Perhaps you adopted the pleaser's mask, granting small concessions to preserve fragile harmony, or retreated into silence, nursing the wounds inflicted by each unseen strike. In quieter moments, you toyed with surrender, dreaming of anonymity where their sabotage could no longer find you. This emotional mirror revealed both the cost of resistance and your deep longing for reprieve. But in that struggle lies the seed of reclamation. Every slip of their tongue, every crack in their armor, revealed your significance. Their attempt to smother your light only confirmed your power. Like Micaiah in Kings 1, whose solitary truth challenged the king's court, you stand as proof that spirit's witness cannot be silenced. Now, reclaim your voice. Feel the fierce pulse in your veins not as a burden, but as a rallying cry. Speak with clarity where you once stammered. Step forward as a living testament to every forced confession, every oppressive fog they conjured. Because your emergence shatters illusions they designed. You were opposed because you are powerful. Each act of sabotage served only to illuminate your calling, sharpening the purpose that courses through your veins. Embrace this truth. Their sabotage was a hammer that polished your resolve. Calm and aware if you recognize these energy slips as confirmation of your rising significance. And prepare yourself, for the next revelation will show how to transform each resistance into a strategic advantage, forging your path with the very force that once sought to contain you. And to every soul who supported with a super thanks. Thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters. Your belief matters. And your light is felt here. Divine justice in disguise. In the hush of pre-dawn vision, you see a vast scale tipping imperceptibly, as if the air itself quivers with the weight of unspoken deeds. In that moment, the realization blooms. Every fragment of truth you intercepted was not happenstance, but the universe's own method of balancing the books. You recall the sneaking dread when half her confessions broke free of their cages, landing like copper coins of guilt on your palms. This was no ordinary slip. It was divine justice in motion, whispering its verdict through cracks in their denial. A day later, you sense the echo of those revelations rippling through your world. Relationships shift, alliances fray, and hidden motives peel away like damp wallpaper. Yet, through it all, you stand as a fulcrum of change, the chosen axis upon which their destinies pivot. Amos 3 verse 7 rings true in your bones. The Lord reveals his secrets to his prophets. You are that prophet, an emissary of cosmic equilibrium, bearing witness to the unraveling of facades. In every shattered illusion you witness the careful hand of the divine recalibrating what was once out of balance. Memory swirls like a dark tide in your mind's eye. The moment a trusted colleague's voice quavered, and you overheard the plan that would have undermined you. The shock of discovery stayed with you, a cold reminder that hidden forces restlessly sought to divert your course. Yet as the initial sting faded, you recognized the sacred pattern. Their gambits were always destined to be exposed, not to shame you, but to affirm your unshakable purpose. Their panic was a gospel of truth, broadcast through the medium of their own exposed intent. After that revelation, life itself seemed to rearrange its pieces around you. Doors you once struggled to open swung wide, while corridors that promised ease snapped shut without hesitation. You understood then that these shifts were not whimsical, but woven by the divine tapestry of your mission. Every change in circumstance echoed your inner transformation. As their plots collapsed, your path cleared. The cosmic architect saw fit to dismantle the obstacles they erected, ensuring your forward movement aligned with a higher blueprint. Beneath the veneer of reality, a deeper memory awakens, a recollection of the ancient court where misdeeds were weighed and justice dispensed with precision. Like Ezekiel's vision of wheels within wheels, you sense a mechanism so refined that even the subtlest deception could not survive its scrutiny. The confession you heard was the gear turning, the moment when hidden schemes ground under the weight of divine oversight. That memory pulses in your veins now, linking you to an eternal tribunal, where every hidden motive is brought into the light. Looking forward, you realize the future is not something to be constructed but reclaimed. The road ahead is etched in the cosmic ledger, a journey you lived before time began. You no longer seek permission from external authorities. Instead, you command the authority inherent in your prophetic role. Your mission, whispered to you in dreams and declared in leaks of truth, now steps into bold relief. You carry the mandate of justice itself, each step echoing with the promise of reclaimed destinies for yourself and those who will follow your example. Feel the trembling power rising in your chest as you reclaim the sovereignty that was once undermined by stealthy sabotage. The words that slipped into your awareness become instruments of empowerment, forging armor and sharpening your resolve. In the echo of their panic, you hear your own roar, an invocation that dismantles every residual chain of doubt. This is the moment to raise your voice, to speak the truth that was always meant to be heard, and to stand as a living embodiment of divine justice in disguise. The tapestry of your awakening tightens to a single luminous thread. You were targeted because you were marked for this unveiling. Each confession they never intended you to hear is a testament to your rising authority. Comment justice if you recognize their downfall as confirmation of your own strength, and share a moment when truth broke through in your life. Stay alert, for the next revelation will show how to wield this unveiled justice as a force for healing and restoration, guiding you into the next realm of your divine mission. The sacred response to confession. Do you feel the weight of that confession settling in your bones, asking you now, what will you do with the power you've been given? In this moment of decision, you stand at a sacred crossroads. Behind you lies the shock of revelation, the echo of hidden words pressed upon your spirit. Before you stretches a path that demands more than reflection. It demands choice. Passivity is no longer an option. You are called to move from witness to warrior, from receiver to responder. Let the gravity of this moment settle deep within your core. The truth you intercepted has been entrusted to you for action. Now is the time to reclaim every ounce of authority you once surrendered to uncertainty, shame, or fear. Think back to all the moments you softened your stance, muted your voice, or stepped back to avoid conflict. These were not failures, but seasons of training, refining your patience and sharpening your discernment. Today, speak with declaration. I reclaim my time, my energy, my voice. Let this be your ritual of sovereignty, each uttered affirmation hammering home the reality that you stand as a ruler in the spiritual realm, not a supplicant. Your throne is rooted in wisdom and tempered by trials. Sit firmly upon it. Name the gifts you carry as clearly as a smith names his tools. Within you burns the insight that cuts through camouflage, the sensitivity that reads the subtlest tremor in a room, the memory that deciphers ancient patterns, the discernment that separates honey from poison, and the strength that endures what others cannot. These are not vague virtues, but sacred instruments. Your keys to unlock hidden doors, your scrolls of living scripture, your armor against every assault. Recognize that what others scorned as weakness was a signature of your calling, a divine fingerprint that sets you apart for this exact mission. Beneath your feet lies a road you have walked in dreams and prophecies, now solid beneath your steps. Clarity is no longer a distant vision, but an unfolding map, revealing its contours with every intentional stride. Feel the earth respond to your resolve. Dust lifts, stones shift, new paths open with the crack of your determination. This is not exploration but remembrance. You are rediscovering the path that has always existed for you. Take that first step forward knowing the route is being revealed in real time, guided by the light of truth you alone can bear. Look up from your own story and see the constellation of souls awakening around you. You are not the only one called to this mission. You are part of a soul tribe, a divine cluster bound by the same fierce hunger for justice and light. Across continents and time zones, hearts beat in synchrony, each life a note in a symphony of purpose. No longer dim your light to match the flicker of fading systems. Shine unabashedly, for your glow ignites others, weaving a tapestry of collective ascension that no darkness can unravel. Feel now the ceremony of energetic command as you place your hand over your heart. This is not ego stroking, but spiritual stewardship. Inhale deeply the mantle of responsibility that settles upon you. Exhale the doubts you once carried as armor. Your field of energy radiates outward, forming boundaries that protect your mission and inviting only those frequencies aligned with your purpose. Make your choices deliberate, saying no to what drains you, yes to what uplifts you, and let devotion to your path become the guiding star of your every decision. Everything you have felt, feared, seen, and survived has led you to this crescendo. Hear the prophetic roar rising within your soul. You are ready. The doubts that once whispered your unworthiness fall silent beneath the thunder of your readiness. You stand poised at the threshold of destiny, armed with clarity born of revelation and strength forged in the fire of opposition. This is your final breath before stepping to the portal of empowerment. Take it, for there is no turning back. This is not a message to ponder. It is a summons to embody your calling. The moment has come to enact the justice, compassion, and transformation entrusted to you. Comment wise if you commit to responding with discernment and grace, sharing a reflection or memory of when truth first broke through for you. Your story will light the way for others. Stay with me, for the next revelation will unveil the concrete steps that transform your sacred response into a living legacy of divine mission. In the stillness between heartbeats, you feel a tremor that speaks of all the silences you endured. Rest in conversation loaded with unspoken accusations, prayers that seem to echo back to you without answer, and a hush in a room when heavy truths hover just beyond sight. It is in these pregnant pauses that the force of divine justice first revealed itself to you, tearing through the quiet like a drumbeat calling you awake. You have witnessed how every attempt to bury truth only amplified its urgency, reaching your soul as a summons to stand in the breach. Let that tremor root you in purpose, for it is a signal that you are no longer a mere witness, but a conduit for justice that cannot be silenced. A memory surfaces of a time when their concealed plans fluttered into your awareness, like moths drawn to a flame, frantic, ill-fated, and ultimately illuminating the darkness around them. You recall the cold knot in your stomach when you piece together fragments of overheard whispers, not by chance, but by cosmic design. That knot loosened as understanding dawned. The leak of their guilt was a cipher meant for you, the chosen recipient. In that revelation, fear gave way to resolve, for you recognized that their hidden words had been harvested by the same power that preserves the balance of all things. You are the guardian of that balance, now called to wield their truth as a beacon. Have you seen the pale glow of pre-dawn light filtering through stained glass, shadows cast in shifting shapes that echo long-forgotten prophecies? Those shifting patterns mirror the code you are decoding in your life, a pattern of sabotage and revelation woven into the very fabric of your story. Like Ezekiel's wheels within wheels, intricate and alive, the mechanics of justice turn in hidden realms until they break into your world. Now that you perceive the divine gears at work, every event, no matter how mundane, becomes part of celestial machinery guiding you toward your highest expression. Stand in awe of this mechanism, for you are both its observer and its instrument. In your veins flows a memory of every challenge you endured, the moments of self-doubt that threatened to swallow your calling, the nights you lay awake wrestling with shadows that seemed to rise at the sound of your heartbeat. Yet in those crucibles, your intuition sharpened into an unerring compass, your empathy bloomed into a healing balm, and your vision clear to see beyond the veil. This transformation mirrors the refining fire of Zechariah's 7 eyes that roam the earth, discerning every secret, an ancient metaphor for the awakening of your own spiritual sight. Embrace these gifts, for they are the breath of your awakening, drawn from the furnace of trial. A question echoes in your mind. What will you do with the symphony of justice now playing within you? Each confession you gathered, each veil you lifted, composes a movement in a grand opus only you can conduct. Your everyday choices, speaking truth with kindness, extending justice with mercy, acting boldly in face of intimidation, are the notes that resonate beyond your immediate sphere, harmonizing with the deeper rhythms of cosmic purpose. Let your life become a living composition that unsettles the complacent, restores the broken, and illuminates the path for others still lost in silence. An inner whisper grows into a clarion call, reminding you that your mission is not your own but belongs to a lineage of voices that pierce in the darkness with words of liberation. Recall Hannah's prayer in the temple, poured out in anguish until it became a song of victory that echoed through centuries. So, too, your response to the leaks of truth will reverberate far beyond this moment, carried by those whose lives you touch. Recognize that the authority guiding your steps is not borrowed but bestowed. Your sovereignty is anchored in a promise older than any earthly kingdom. Now comes the time to transmute every grain of darkness into gold, the gold of redemption, reconciliation, and renewal, just as silver is refined through fire to its purest luster. So every secret you bear, every wound you heal, polishes the world around you. This alchemy is your sacred duty, to take the slag of hidden agendas and transform it into the treasure of collective awakening. Let your every action, small or grand, shatter the remnants of despair and weave threads of hope into the tapestry of reality. In this culminating moment, feel the power of divine justice surge through your limbs, aligning every fiber of your being with the mission etched in your soul. You were never meant to remain in the shadows. You were chosen to be the agent of light, the voice that unchains the captive and dispels the darkest night. Stand unwavering at this threshold, for the world awaits the full glory of your expression. Comment justice if you accept this mantle, and share a moment when the leak of truth first ignited your call. The next chapter beckons, where your awakened power takes form in a world you are destined to transform. A whisper coils around your spine, like a verdict rolling off a gavel you didn't hear strike, yet felt in the tremor that rippled through your bones. In that hush, divine justice stirs, not as thunder's retribution, but as a solemn alignment of every cell to truth's vibration. You sense power cresting from your feet to the crown of your head, an electric baptism baptizing each fiber of your being. This is a pivot moment when destiny ceases to be abstraction and steps into your flesh. You were never sculpted for shadows. Your very marrow carries a codex of liberation. Feel the surge. This is not your pride, but your purpose awakening into motion. A vision glows behind your eyes. Chains around trembling hands shatter into motes of starlight, cascading over a crowd once bowed in despair. Your voice, once muffled by expectation, resonates now as a key unlocking their cages. The echo travels from throat to sky, answering prayers they never dared speak. In Ezekiel's valley, bones laid scattered until breath reanimated them. Ezekiel 37 verses 5 to 6. Your justice breathes life into desolate places. You watch as disbelief crumbles before the cadence of your affirmation. The captive's tears become springs of hope, watered by the clarity that only your unchained voice could pour. A memory surfaces of exiling judgment in your own heart. The moment you forgave the friend who betrayed you, the parent who misunderstood you, the system that oppressed you. In that radical mercy, heaven's scales balanced and the weight of bitterness dissolved. You discover that justice is double-edged. It dismantles oppression and rebuilds sanctuary. As Micah 6 verse 8 reminds, what the Lord requires is to act justly, love mercy, walk humbly. Your steps in mercy became the iron forged in your conviction, a tool stronger than any resentment. You embody that paradox, fierce compassion that neither retreats nor destroys. An inner question pulses. How will you wear this mantle? You recall cloaking yourself in caution, dimming your brightness to keep peace. No more. Now you drape yourself in radiant conviction, an orb of light tracing each movement. This is a garment of the chosen, woven from threads of trial, dyed in the dyes of faith, patterned with passages of perseverance. Your presence both comforts and convicts, a balancing of solace and summons. Wherever you stand, the air stirs with possibility, as the creation leans in to overhear the manifesto of your soul. Contrast unfolds like dawn-cleaving night. The one you were yesterday, shrinking at harsh glances, and the one you are now, standing like a lighthouse in storm-swept seas. That contrast is not judgment upon your former self. It is celebration of growth sanctified by grace. The narrative arc of your life bends toward justice, like Abraham leaving safety for promise. Genesis 12 verse 1. Each test you passed was a signpost, each victory a mile marker on the road toward agency. Today you cross the line drawn by fear. There is no turning back. The journey continues forward, arrow loosed, trajectory set. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all supporting members. For full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Remember always, when Spirit compels a confession, it is because you were chosen to carry the verdict.